Okay, back with you on the Bronx Buzz. I was talking about being motivated. I was talking about learning to overcome adversity. A longtime friend of mine and a friend of the Bronx's. He is the proprietor, if you will, of Crown Trophy on East Tremont, which is always supporting people for doing good things. But he's got a new book out. The new book is Running Between the Raindrops. He's worked on it a long time. It's been a dream to get it out. He has done it. My buddy Greg Perry. Nice to always have you on the show, Greg. Nice
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, we can make the connection to the great Crown Trophy store that you run later on in this dialogue. But talk to me about running between the raindrops and why this was so important to you, not only for your business, but let's say as a track coach and all the things that you've done in your life. This was really an expression of all of
Well, to be perfectly honest, I wrote the book because I wanted to find a way to keep people moving forward in order for them to find the greatness within them. And it was important to me because basically a lot of people might not know I've been an educator almost all my life. And I started a program in 1967 at the West Side Y on 63rd Street. And I wanted to train people that were from the inner city specifically about how to achieve success. And I wanted I wanted people to understand both, since I was teaching always at the college and working with businesses, I wanted to explain to young people that they had greatness within them and that it was my responsibility as a researcher, as an educator, as a coach to unlock that greatness and show them what transformation is all about. But transformation, you have to have tools to transform yourself. And I provided a formula that had what is called a primary distinction and a secondary distinction to start them off with what they needed to transform their life. Most of these kids at that time came from the projects or low income areas, and we were on 63rd Street. You know what 63rd Street is like. 63rd Street is a highly affluent area. I was able to meet phenomenal people down there, Leonard Bernstein, Jim Jensen, Roberta Flack, and I met her in Dakota. And I wanted these kids to understand there's more than what's in the neighborhood for them to do one thing,
right?
And to dream and have their goals.
They could be that if they look at the world a different way. So here's a very plain question: what don't people know that keeps them down, that you hope that Running Between the Raindrops can help fill the blanks so that they do know and can achieve? What are they missing?
What they're missing is an understanding of what I call the primary distinctions. The first distinction is their thoughts. What are their thoughts? When they look into a mirror, what do they think of themselves? The second distinction is their language. And the third distinction is massive action. So what am I saying? Too often we have individuals, many times parents, that speak to their children in a negative manner. Yep. You're stupid, you're dumb, you're no good, or whatever. And that language relates to how they think. Now, if you have someone consistently saying negative things about you, there's no way that you're going to think of yourself as somebody that has talent, that has greatness within them.
And I'm going to go one step further. And then they go to school and there's somebody who makes assumptions about what they can and cannot do before they—
That is correct.
Certainly by the color of their skin, by maybe their language or whatever it is. And then all of a sudden, it's like they add all that stuff up and they say, yeah, maybe I can't get this done. Or maybe I can't go to college, or I can't win the track meet, or whatever it is that I'm working on. And so what you have done here is fill in the blanks and say, wait a minute, take a look at who you are, and if there has been adversity, what do you do?
Well, what you do if there has been adversity is to provide them with the tools. And the first tool that I gave them was the aspect of them learning what their gift is. And how did they do that? We did that with what is called experiential education. We took them out of neighborhoods that they were used to and took them to other cities. And when they qualified for a national, we took them to other states. When they qualified for an international, we took them to other countries, or we sent them to other countries. And what they got out of this is the aspect of the experiential education was seeing that there's a difference in everyone's life, and there's a difference in the environment that they put you in. The environment that you're placed in is very important. So therefore, they had to get the tools necessary. And the tools came from what's called the secondary distinction. They had to have guidance, they had to have structure, and the big thing now, they had to have discipline.
Yes. And
so that's where it started.
What you have done in simply showing them another world, and you may know that I've been involved in collegiate athletics from the sports information perspective. So I would travel with Bronx kids to other places, and they would go out to farmlands in Peoria, Illinois, and it would change them. They would also see the effect of having let's say an all black basketball team coming into a white town. How do you deal with that? How do you win in spite of the fact that people look at you differently? And to me, athletics is the best teacher of this. I mean, you and I are on the same page about this. If you can get kids, and I don't care what abilities they have, to play sports, they learn a lot of these lessons.
Oh yes, and one part of the book, to me, the book is the greatest thing that has been written to get people to understand the parallels between academics and athletics. And once you are able to identify those parallels, you have to have what is called the inputs of preparation that are necessary to build the foundation. And understand, you have to grow what you cannot see. What can't you see? You can't see the mental. You can't see the emotional. You can't see the spiritual. You have to create a foundation within those three entities. And once you create a foundation in those three entities, that gives them the opportunity to grow. So what I explain of grow what you can't see, I give them the example of when you plant a tree. Do you see the roots growing? No, because the roots are in the dirt. The seeds are in the dirt. And what happens when it starts growing, only thing you see is what's above. You see the outside physical person, the physical thing. And what we have to do is get everyone to understand that you have to grow what you cannot see, what's inside of you. And it's my responsibility as an educator, as a coach, not just to motivate you, but to help you transform your life. I'm not a motivational coach. I'm a transformational coach. I provide you with the tools that are necessary for you to learn and discover. And it's different between learning and discovering. We cannot learn everything, but we can discover something new each and every day.
In dialogues you and I have had, and I came to you to talk about your business at Crown Trophy, which, by the way, if you need trophies and all that's obviously the place to go in the Bronx. But you were talking to me about these same things even then when we were talking about your business. Talk to me a little bit, and let's put it out there. You yourself find yourself to be an example of somebody who had adversity, who figured out how to do this. So I guess what I'm getting at is, why is Greg Perry so committed to this? And I think it's partially because you lived it and you saw it come out.
Yes. Yes.
Let's say about that for a moment.
I did live it, and you have to excuse me. I started crying when I started talking about those things. One of the things that I remember is that at the West Side Y on 5 West 63rd Street, I had an opportunity to have a mentor. And back then, I didn't know how important it was for me to grow and develop because I had a mentor. Someone gave me the opportunity of the how-to. And it also explained the why. And the why was so important for me to get to the next steps. And then I discovered the power of why. The power of why was very important. Why do I want to grow? Why do I want to be an educator? And I finally looked at everything that I wanted to do. And by having a mentor, I had Mr. Warner, Richard Warner, who asked me to work, and this might sound a little crazy to you, Gary, but he asked me to be his research subject. And he asked me to run across the gym, and he had these lights on the floor, string of lights on the floor, and he had a tripod and a camera. And he says, run across the floor, and I'm gonna take these flashes. I'm going to run across the floor. Okay, I ran across the floor, and he kept snapping these pictures. I said, Dick, what is this for? He says, well, I'm studying to be a doctor. I said, hold up, Dick. Let me get this right.
We only got a few moments here, so just wrap that up, and then we'll tell people.
Well, because I had a mentor, Dick gave me that opportunity to find out what biomechanics was all about.
And what I want to just, I'll conclude with, and then you found the need that because you were so touched, it was time for you to
give back
and give back. So let's do it. So the new book is Running Between the Raindrops. Great for coaches, for motivational speakers, and also for individuals who say, you know what, I can be. Oh, there it is. Not that he's all ready to promote the book. But listen, I also want to just remind people, look, if you're looking for trophies, again, way to reinforce, way to celebrate. Crown Trophy is the place for you, right in Westchester Square on East Tremont. Greg is involved in the business community there, and mostly to motivate people of the Bronx. That's what you, and everywhere. That's what you do, right? We got that right?
I call it the MRI, to motivate, recognize, and inspire.
And you've done it, and congrats on the book. I know it's been a long time coming in a dream. Dreams come true. And Greg is doing it and sharing it, and we appreciate that.
Well, thank you for having me. It's greatly appreciated.
All right, so we're going to say goodnight. We're going to say happy holidays to our buddy Greg Perry. Thank you to John Weed from Bronx Works also for joining us. And stay safe, wear your masks, make sure you're vaccinated, do all the things you got to do to keep us all alive. And we'll see you next week. Good night.